Welcome to the Star Realms tutorial. The objective of Star Realms is to defeat your opponent by reducing his authority, currently set at 50, to 0. To accomplish this, you have to play cards from your hand. Every turn, you will draw 5 cards from your deck into your hand. At the end of every turn, your cards will be moved to your discard pile. When your deck runs out of cards, your discard pile will be shuffled to form your new deck. You can zoom in on a card by clicking it. Try zooming in on your leftmost card, the Viper. The Viper gives you 1 combat, which is what you use for attacking your opponent and their bases. Now dismiss the Viper by clicking on it. Now play the Viper by dragging it into the empty space on top of it. Notice your combat increased. Use your combat to attack your opponent by double-clicking. When you reduce your opponent's authority to 0, you win. Try zooming in on your rightmost card by clicking on it. The Scout card gives you 1 trade. Trade is used to acquire new cards. New cards you acquire first go into your discard pile. When your deck runs out of cards, the cards in your discard pile are then shuffled into your deck. Dismiss the Scout. Tap the Play All button. Playing the Scouts has increased your trade to 4. Trade can be used to acquire cards in the center trade row. Zoom in on the trade bot in the trade row. The trade cost to acquire a card is indicated in the top right. Dismiss the trade bot. Acquire the trade bot by dragging it to your discard pile. Note that you paid 1 trade to acquire the trade bot. Now, acquire an Explorer. Click End Turn in the bottom right to end your turn. Zoom in on your opponent's barter world. You can zoom in on a card by clicking it. This is a base. Bases stay in play until the opponent destroys them with combat equal to the number in their shield on the bottom right. Dismiss the barter world. Zoom in on the junkyard. You can zoom in on a card by clicking it. This base is an outpost. Notice the black shield on the bottom right. Outposts must be destroyed before you can attack your opponent or their other bases. Dismiss the junkyard. Click Play All. You must attack the junkyard first because it is an outpost. Attack it by double-clicking on it. Use your remaining combat on your opponent. Zoom in on your RAM. You can zoom in on a card by clicking it. Some cards may be scrapped for an effect. This is indicated by the trash can icon on the card. Dismiss the RAM. Scrap your RAM for 3 trade by clicking on it and then selecting that ability. Now that you've scrapped the RAM, acquire the Port of Call. Some cards force players to discard a card. Discard the Scout in your hand by clicking on it and then confirming it by clicking Select in this dialog. Zoom in on your trade bot. You can zoom in on a card by clicking it. This card has an ally ability, notice the faction symbol, that gets activated by a ship or base of the same faction. It also allows you to scrap weaker cards in your deck so that you can draw your better cards. Dismiss the trade bot. Play the trade bot. In order to finish playing the trade bot, scrap the Scout in the discard pile. Play the missile bot. Scrap the Scout in your hand. The 2 Machine Cult cards trigger each other's ally abilities. Attack your opponent with your new combat. Play the Hive. Now play the Blob Fighter in order to trigger the card's ally abilities. Zoom in on your Cutter. You can zoom in on a card by clicking it. Some cards increase your authority, the number in the green symbol. Remember, when you run out of authority, you lose. Dismiss the Cutter. Play the Cutter. Notice your authority and trade increased. Play out the blob world. Zoom in on your blob world. You can zoom in on a card by clicking it. When you activate Blob World, you will have to choose which ability to use. Dismiss the Blob World. Activate your Blob World by clicking it and choosing which ability to use. Play all your cards. Now defeat your opponent. Congratulations! You've completed the Star Realms tutorial.